Hey, it's Bill, and I'm doing this down and dirty video again. I'm not doing the high def camera, just doing the iMac thing. And but however, on all my videos, just about all of them, I really do have a decent microphone off to the side because I always edit the video and I try to make the video look as good as possible. And where did I put my glasses? I have my glasses nearby. Ah, that's all right. Take me as I am, ugly as I may be. Anyway, I am going to entitle this video Introduction to the Vinyl Community, because I'd like to introduce myself to the vinyl community, even though I've been on YouTube for several years now, and I do have a podcast, podcast.boxofsound.com, in which I mostly talk about vinyl and just collecting music in general and anything that happens to pop into my head. So I've got that podcast, and on a lot of my videos I have that video tag there. I have it right here. I might not have it on this one because I just want to get this one down and dirty, get it out there, and introduce myself to you folks in the vinyl community. Now, you may say, Bill, why are you introducing yourself? You've been on here for so many years, and you've already got 200 subscribers, which, by the way, thanks to, I believe it's Planet Jared. Wrong, Planet Jendel. He's a Northeast Ohio guy like I am. And he was my 200th subscriber. So feeling pretty good about that. I know a lot of you guys have more subscribers than I do, and you've also been doing this vinyl community thing a lot longer than I have. I mean, I've mostly just been loving Derek's videos. Been watching a lot of your videos, Derek. Really enjoy your musical tastes and your insights into music and your inputs, opinions, everything. Also love Teddy, which I believe is, I wrote it down here, Elovox, Cool Ranch Dressing, who else? Lazarus, Mr. Fartboy, a lot of you folks out there. I end up clicking the subscribe button at least once a day to another one of you folks whenever I have the time to just sit and watch some of your videos and see some of the awesome vinyl that you guys got. And I've got a lot of vinyl too. Now, on my podcast, I usually have like between 120 and 350 people downloading the podcast. But now that I know that I have 200 subscribers on the YouTube channel, I just might make the podcast and the videos one. If you've got any opinions on that, I'd like to know about it. But since I'm trying to introduce myself to the vinyl community, I want to talk about how I collect vinyl records and what my history of collecting vinyl records is. I started collecting vinyl records when I was about 5 years old, or at least I wanted to collect vinyl records because I just thought they were the coolest thing ever. I'm old enough to have seen the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show, and since I ended up playing drums as my main instrument, Ringo Starr was a big role model at that time. And just as long as I can remember, I've always wanted more records. Records are just the ultimate way to listen to music as far as I'm concerned. And I have several thousand. I collected records religiously. I mean, people in school knew me as the record guy, the guy who collected records. I even had a thing whereas I had a special way of removing the shrink wrap from a record, and I had a special pile on a shelf in my room of nothing but shrink wrap from records. I even had the dark green shrink wrap that was on the front of Roxy Music's Country Life to kind of censor the cover on the original version of that. I also had the dark bluish, maybe almost turquoise or teal shrink wrap that was on the front of the original Pink Floyd Wish You Were Here album that came out in the US. And I don't have that record anymore. I was riding in somebody's Volkswagen Bug on the way to Kent, Ohio once, to Kent State University. Had a copy of that album right next to me, and the heater was blowing on it, and it warped the record past the point of any repair. And I just a long history of collecting records. And in 1973, which is probably one of the best years for music ever, I started collecting Frank Zappa records and still do so to this day. And I've probably got a better collection than most of you out there. I intend to do a video of nothing but my Frank Zappa records, and then a separate video of my Frank Zappa CDs, the commercial ones. Now, you see these shelves behind me? Most of the CDs that are on these shelves here are all Frank Zappa concerts that have been traded over the years by pretty much the bootleg community, but I never, ever, ever sell things. I don't make money off of music at all. I mean, the only money that I make off of music is the money that I make by playing music. I'm in a band called Monkey Call. You can see some of their videos. Currently, the band is on hiatus because one of the guys in the band is a little ill and is not going to be able to perform for about a year or so. So for the rest of this year, no more Monkey Call, okay? That's all I'm going to say about it. And when Monkey Call comes back, we're going to come back with a vengeance and playing all sorts of music that you love, that we love, to entertain you. All right, 6 minutes in, let's talk more about my history of collecting. In 1983, the compact disc was invented, and when it was available, I jumped on it. I have one of the very first CD players that was ever released, the Sony CDP-101. I'm probably going to sell it on eBay. And I was totally sucked into the compact disc universe. I thought it was wonderful, mostly because of the absence of surface noise and the absence of pops and clicks, and what I perceived to be the dynamic range of records. And I have several thousand CDs all around this room as well. One day when I get things organized, maybe I'll do a little tour of my music collection. But then, about maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I think it was around 2008, 2009, I started getting romance to buy my records, because I still kept my records. I kept moving them from place to place wherever I moved, and even though some of them are water damaged, I started pulling them out again and listening to them. And I've talked about this in my podcast before. I bought a copy of the album Song for My Father by Horace Silver on vinyl because I had several versions of it on CD, and I just loved that record. I thought, why not have it on vinyl? So I got it, and I bought a turntable, and because all the ones that I had were too old and too ragged, and I put on this album, and I enjoyed it like I had never enjoyed it before. And I thought, this is great. It must just be the way that this record was mastered by Rudy Van Gelder many years ago. What I'll do is I'll take that record and I'll transfer it onto a digital format, and I'll enjoy it that much more. So I did that. It didn't sound as good. I tried upping the sampling rate. Didn't sound as good. I did everything that I could. I couldn't make it sound as good as the actual record did. So that was the big deciding factor for me to get back into vinyl again, and I'm buying less and less CDs, and right now I prefer vinyl, and I go to record shows and everything, and I know you guys do a lot of trading between yourselves, and I wouldn't mind being in on some of that as well, but I mostly just want to share the love of being a record collector. And if you heard that noise back there, that was my laptop computer signaling me that I have another email. I got that sound, that burping sound, from the Frank Zappa album Uncle Meat. It's in the cut The Voice of Cheese. Anyway, let me show you some of the records that I got at the most recent record convention that I went to. I got Alex Bevan and Friends. Name of this album is Simple Things Done Well. Alex Bevan is from Cleveland. I featured one of his records on one of my other videos. Actually, the most watched video that I have on YouTube, my Spin Clean demo. I clean one of his records, the Grand River Lullaby, but found this. And also, Alex Bevan is one of my friends on Facebook. I've never met him personally. I intend to, because he still lives in Northeast Ohio, and he's a great guy. Wonderful little troubadour, songwriter, singer, songwriter, etc. Yes, 90125. This is the first Yes album that I did not buy on vinyl, but I did buy on CD. And I've been kicking myself in the teeth for it ever since. And this version, there was like 3 or 4 versions that were $1 a piece. This one actually has the sleeve, and it's got RL in the dead wax, which means, yes, Robert Ludwig. And I am on the lookout for our Led Zeppelin 2 with the RL in the dead wax. That's my holy grail right now, folks. All right. Got a copy of Rush, All the World's a Stage, for $1. I think each and every one of these I got for around $1. I think I paid $2 for some of them because I kind of had a limit set on myself. I'm trying to organize my records. I'll talk more about that in a second. Got a copy of Michael Jackson's Off the Wall, which I like even better than the Thriller album. His first solo album on Epic. Some more Yes records. 2 originals of Yes, Time and a Word and Yes. These albums I've had on my wish list for a long time, even though Yes is one of my favorite bands of all time. And saw that. It's pretty neat. What's weird is that the first side seems to be a cut that was made in the U.S., and then the other 3 sides are European ones cut at a much lower level. So there's a lot more room in the dead wax. Really weird. Okay, James Brown plays James Brown Today and Yesterday. Instrumental album, he plays some organ on it. I'm going to look forward to cleaning this one up and putting it on the turntable. You gotta love yourself some James Brown. Next, Donald Fagen, The Night Fly, another album that I was a digital supporter of very early on and never really had the vinyl. You know, I think I might have had the vinyl when I was writing for Scene magazine in Cleveland many, many years back, but foolishly got rid of it. So got myself a nice copy with the original lyric sleeve on it. The Band, got this because I never had any band records. I got some band CDs, and also as a memorial to Levon Helm, who died recently. Also, speaking of people who passed away recently, you got to give it up for the Beastie Boys. Rest in peace, MCA. You are sorely, sorely missed. This is Paul's Boutique, a lot of people's favorite Beastie Boys album. Next, some jazz. Stan Getz, Jazz Samba with Louise Bonfa. Saw a video on YouTube of DJ Jazzy Jeff showing off a copy of this, so I had to buy it. On the contemporary label, Mel Henke, Dig. I heard that this is very rare as well. Can't wait to listen to this one. Van Morrison, Tupelo Honey. Speaking of artists that have left us recently, Ronnie Montrose. This is one of the first albums he played on. So I picked that up. Got a couple weird compilations. Great Hits of the 60s, performed by the original artists. And also Wixie 1260, 21 Super Oldie Classics, Volume 3. And strangely enough, I've got 2 copies of this, so I'm going to clean them both off and check them out. Maybe I'll transfer these to digital so I can just have them in the car and all that. I mean, I love digital audio. Don't make any mistake about that. But it's just that if you're going to listen to music seriously, you got to do it this way. John Lennon Rock and Roll, great album. Produced by John Lennon and Phil Spector in 1973. Another John Lennon album, Mind Games. A lot of people don't like this record. I happen to enjoy it quite a bit. So, got that on vinyl. And they're both on Apple Records. Glass Harp, another group from Cleveland, Phil Kagi. Also in this band, let's see. Does it say who else is in the band? Dan Pecchio, who was also, I believe, in the Michael Stanley Band and in the James Gang. Look, it's on the original Decca label. Can't wait to clean this puppy up and listen to it. Glass Harp. Thin Lizzy, Jailbreak. Never had this on vinyl before. Glad to pick it up. Another jazz album, Cannonball Adderley, Inside Straight on Fantasy. This has, who's playing on this record? We got Nat Adderley on cornet, Hal Galper on electric piano, Walter Booker on bass, and Roy McCurdy on drums. Plus King Arison on percussion. who was a mainstay in Neil Diamond's band for quite a while. Another jazz album, Reunion Blues, with Oscar Peterson, Milt Jackson, Ray Brown, and Louis Hayes. Looks like a European album. Let's see, does it say where it was recorded? I don't know, but it's on the BASF label. And the liner notes are written by Horst Schad, or Shade. Translated by John Wilde. Produced by Hans-Georg Brunner-Schwer. And I'm probably horribly butchering the pronunciation of all of the foreign names. Although I'm usually pretty good with that. Then Dan Hicks and his Hot Licks, Striking It Rich on the Blue Thumb label. Yes, it is. This is a live record. Recently, I showed a copy of a Dan Hicks album on the Epic label, and I just did not like the songs as well as I do in a live setting. So I Scare Myself is on this album too. So now, I still have all my records, and I'm still categorizing them. I got like 27 boxes full of albums, and that's not a tribute to Weird Al. I actually have, I think, 27 boxes full of albums. And I'm going through them and trying to catalog them, making a big old list in Microsoft Excel, and just to getting everything back to where I had it. And eventually I'm going to be moving things around in the house and building shelves and alphabetizing the records for good this time. So I am already at the 16-minute mark. I'm going to put this up as soon as I can. And I hope that you will accept me into the vinyl community, all of you vinyl communityers out there, because I really enjoy all your videos, and I'm going to be subscribing to you soon. So I'd really appreciate it if you return the favor. And oh, by the way, I saw this on several people's videos, and I found it online, and I bought it. I don't know. I don't know if we want to talk about this or not. So thanks for watching. And if you want to listen to my podcasts, podcast.boxofsound.com. Thanks for watching. I had a great time. Hope you did too.